Let's talk about a topic that is so crucial to your dating life, but that no other dating coach is talking about. How to love yourself. I'm going to show you in this video how loving yourself is the fastest way to get other people to love you. Before I give you the practical techniques, allow me to tell you a love story. Once upon a time, two socially awkward scientists accidentally created a secret potion. This potion can make anyone who takes it irresistible to the opposite sex. Paul tries the potion first, and it transforms him from a nerdy scientist to a ladies' man, and every girl he talks to falls irresistibly in love with him. Diane decides to try the potion, and she becomes irresistible to men. Unlike Paul, she's not hooking up with every single guy, but she does go on a journey of self-discovery. Now, as time goes on, Paul and Diane, they start dressing better, they have more self-confidence, but unfortunately, life comes with problems, and the biggest problem they faced was that this potion, its effect, only lasts for 4 hours. So after the first 4 hours, people wake up, they find out they're not in love with Paul and Diane, and it creates some pretty interesting problems. Now, towards the end of the story, this potion that they've created forces them to deal with a very real consequence of their actions. Now, if this story sounds a little cheesy to you, that is because it's actually the plot of a 90s movie called Love Potion Number 9. And because it's a romantic comedy, it has a happy ending. But here's the secret of the movie. Now, the potion in the movie is Love Potion Number 8. The movie is actually titled Love Potion Number 9. And number 9 is the real love that the characters find for themselves. And as you're starting to improve your dating skills, one of the questions you might be asking yourself is, how important is love really? Well, love is so powerful that when psychologist Harry Harlow, she made 2 surrogate mothers, one made out of wires with a milk bottle and another mother covered in soft, warm cloth, but with no milk bottle. What do you think happened? The infant monkeys spent more time with the cloth mother even when the wire mother had milk. Whenever the infant monkeys were scared or threatened, they saw comfort and security from the cloth mother. Even human babies that are neglected, they've been provided food, nourishment, sleep, comfort. If they don't receive love from their mothers, have a chance of dying. Love is a primal need. And as we get older and we move away from our mothers out of the house, we seek love in other people. But in this search, so few of us actually seek love within. When I was on my dating journey, I realized that I was looking for love from external sources. But no matter how much validation you get from hot girls or being able to influence people, becoming famous, becoming rich, success, no amount of external validation can feed that hole inside you, because that hole can only be filled from within. Here are just 4 steps that I've used with clients that really helped nurture this energy of self-love. Technique number 1 is to treat yourself like someone you would love. Oftentimes, when we're going through a breakup or perhaps we crush on a girl, we focus all this energy that's being drawn to the person that we think we like or we love. And sometimes if we're lucky, it gets returned to us. But what we don't realize is that a lot of guys spend a lot of time chasing girls, giving out love, and then they resent it and get angry when it's not returned. So let's do a visualization exercise. Imagine you have all this love that you're giving, right? All this love you're pouring onto this person or perhaps a number of people. Imagine being able to pour out that love, but now instead of the energy directing to them, direct the energy back to yourself and just imagine this energy enveloping your aura all around your body. From your head, it flows down like a strong current of water to your feet. Imagine a ball of light, an aura or a halo surrounding you. Take 3 deep breaths. How do you feel? Pretty good, right? Obviously, the first time you do it is, some of you might be like, I don't feel anything, Giovanni. Practice makes perfect. Redirect the love that you are giving to people that perhaps are not giving it back to you onto yourself. How would you treat yourself if you truly loved yourself? What if you treated yourself like the person that you loved? Would you talk to yourself in the same negative tone that you've been doing? Would you discourage yourself the way our minds discourage us sometimes? Would you give priority to yourself in many social situations? The second technique I have for you is from a really great book called Love Yourself Like Your Life Depended on It. And it's by this relatively successful VC who was going through a breakup, and he was trying all these techniques to get over his breakup, and none of it worked, and he went through hundreds of them, and then he found 3 techniques that worked for him the most. And he wrote it in his book, and it goes something like this. The first thing is the affirmation. Affirmation is something that you say, I love myself, or I love me. And he would say this over and over again. And in the book, what's interesting is he said, I don't believe it when I first say it. I love myself, but I don't quite believe it. But here's the thing. When you repeat it over and over again, your habits start to influence your belief. And then your belief, once that changes, starts to influence your identity, your view of how you are. So even though you might not feel like it right now, the more you say it, every time you feel your mind going on a loop, right? Sometimes we have this negative spiral. She doesn't like me. I'm not good enough. I must be too skinny or too fat. You know, maybe I should get plastic surgery. Maybe I should work out more. I'll never get the girl that I want. I need to make more money. This negative loop, just recognize it, stop, change the channel. Just replace that loop with, I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. A mental loop is not who you are. It's just a program that's run away. Where did those thoughts originally come from? Perhaps your parents when you were growing up, perhaps something you being hard on yourself in the real world. Those are just programs. Stop the program, delete the program, execute a new program, and start training your mind to give love to yourself. The third technique, if you're really analytical, is I would write down all my thoughts, right? We have so many thoughts in our head, but how often do you actually sit down and actually put it on paper or open a Google Docs? Because when you write it down, I did this exercise, guys, and I was shocked. At one point in my life, about 80% of my thoughts were negative. I couldn't even get to a positive thought. Everything I was thinking of was what could go wrong. And once I realized that, I'm like, okay, 80% is, let's change it to 50-50. Okay, let's just get to neutral, right? Some thoughts are good, some thoughts are not good. Let me get to 50-50. Then I was like, well, how do I get to 80-20? Then I was like, well, how do I get to like close to 100, right? Mostly positive thoughts. So write down your things that you say to yourself and write it on a piece of paper. And it doesn't have to be meticulous, right? Just throughout the day, breakfast, lunchtime. Hey, what am I thinking? Oh, Giovanni, you forgot to do that. Come on, man, you're better than this, right? Negative. Hey, man, you actually worked out today. Good job. Positive. Okay, so just write it down and just see for yourself, like, I bet you'll be surprised at how you talk to yourself. Because how we talk to ourselves, we wouldn't even talk to like our friends that way, okay? The fourth technique I have for you is called breaking through that energy veil. And I noticed this a lot when I dance salsa. Okay, a lot of times in our work, in our society, we can't really break out and dance or break through the energy level. When I was at a Tony Robbins event, I remember the first thing Tony said was, look, guys, listen, this is the first day of the seminar, and right now I want you to make a commitment to yourself to keep your energy levels at this level, okay? It's not because I'm positive thinking BS. It's because at this energy level, you're gonna get insights, revelations about your business, about your life that you're not gonna get at this level. So I ask you to keep your energy levels high, okay? We're doing this for a reason. And Tony says that in day one. And guess what? Even though a lot of the things I learned at the seminar, I've read before, I've already watched his videos, they were just repeats of things I've seen before. But because their energy level was high and because I was interacting with many different types of people, I got more insights that weekend than I did the previous few years of reading his books or watching his videos. When you combine energy level with social interactions, that's where a lot of the neural connections are made for human beings, right? Strong emotional impact creates neural connections that leads to changes in your habit. Now, these are just 4 techniques. Try them out for yourself. Some techniques work better than other people. Some clients love to just go on late night runs and they'll shout, I am enough. I am awesome. Some guys don't talk that much. They love salsa dancing. They let their bodies express how they really feel. Some people like to sit down and meditate and in their minds visualize things, okay? Find out what works for you. But the important thing about these 4 techniques is that you are dedicating a small portion, 20 minutes a day, to just focusing on practicing loving yourself. Now, what happens when you do this? And I know some of you might not believe me, but if you stay consistent over a period of 3 to 4 weeks, which is usually how long it takes a habit to actually become automatic, is that you're going to find when you're sitting alone waiting for something at a cafe, you're thinking, I love myself. When you are talking to your friends and they're talking among themselves and not talking to you, you're sitting there, you're like enjoying the moment. And what happens is you have this gravity and this draw that other people don't have, right? Because so many people are chasing love externally. And you're just joyful and at peace. Not 100% of the time, but even if it's 10, 20% of the time, that's a start. Because most people are at 0. Most people are searching for stimulation on social media, going to the movies, drugs, alcohol, and it's never enough. When you love yourself and you use the techniques in my courses, check out the links in the description. You're trying the techniques, but it's not coming from this place of emptiness. So when you're saying these lines to try to get the girl's attention or try to ask her out on a date, it's not coming from a place where you're so needy, like, I need to have you. Instead, it's coming from a place of, I love myself. I'm going to try out some of these techniques that Giovanni taught me because I want to find a partner and I love myself for trying to do that, right? And if I make a mistake, it's okay. I'll get up and I'll try again. And women sense this level of what we call congruency, right? It's like, this guy is not trying to get love from me. He's not trying to seek validation from me. He already has it. He's giving himself that. So yeah, he likes me because he's a boy and I'm a girl, and that's okay. Okay, and at that level, your communications, your micro expressions, they all become a lot more truthful and less needy, because you're not seeking that external need for love anymore from the women that you're dating. And what happens is women start gravitating towards you, not just women, other people too. And they're going to be wondering unconsciously, how come this guy seems so confident? Why do I feel like good around him? Right? I want to feel like I love myself. People can't articulate it, but a lot of times all we want to know is that we're good enough and that we are loved. And if you can do that for yourself, isn't that awesome? All the techniques that I've taught in my courses, all my videos, they all work, right? But it doesn't matter if you do all this and you still get the girl and you're unhappy. A couple of years ago, I remember waking up next to models. I looked to the side and, back then I had a really nice apartment downtown. The sunlight was shining on her beautiful body. She's sleeping. And I would look at her and I'd be like, man, every other guy would be jealous of me right now. And I remember thinking, man, this was my dream like a couple of years ago. But guess what? One day I woke up and I saw this beautiful girl next to me and I actually felt sad. I felt sad, and I realized at that moment that I needed to go to therapy because I was seeking love externally. You don't have to pause your whole life. You don't have to quit your job or stop dating to do this. Just spend 10 to 20 minutes a day loving yourself. And I guarantee you, whatever it is you're working on right now to improve your dating life is going to feel so much better when you actually love yourself. Try it out and let me know how it goes. If you have some personal experiences, share them in the comments below. Enjoy.